actually put your shoulder so it's supported on the bed. And so I'd actually start them in this position, pitched up to 30 degrees, because I'm lining up his horizontal canal. So the roll test is you just turn the head one time, halfway to the left or halfway to the right. So you go fairly quickly, and you're looking for the onset of that straight horizontal nystagmus. If it came on, I'd wait for it to pass, and then, however long it takes for it to settle. Then I'd come back to the center, and I'd do the same thing to the right. First, you would have checked the patient's range of motion and know that they can tolerate that. If someone can't tolerate that range of motion, somebody grab me a couple of pillows real quick, I'm sorry. Some over here. Thank you, Ms. Elaine.
Do you want to try and tell them to look forward the whole time? Or?
Say it again.
Because they're going to ask, like, where am I supposed to go?
Yeah, I usually tell them, the very first thing I say is, when your dizziness comes on, please try to keep your eyes open. Because that's the last thing they want to do, right? They want to do this. So I need to see what your eyes are doing in order to keep you, so I can tell what treatment I need to do. So go ahead and scoot down a little bit. So if you can't tolerate the just moving the head, I can tell them bend up your knees. So you're going to roll onto your left side so that your ear's down on the pillows. So he's still in the 30 degrees, but we're just moving his whole body instead of moving the neck. And there was a question, let me just finish this and I'll answer it. So come back onto your back. So again, you're looking for the nystagmus to come on, go ahead and roll onto this side. So that way, if you're worried about some neck restrictions, you can do the whole body, as long as the head's, turned to that 90 degrees, and then slowly back. I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear is there a question that someone asked right before?
Yeah, I thought you were treating a certain side, but she said it's for
This was just the diagnostic maneuver, the roll test.
Right.
It's very rare, but sometimes when you take someone back into a Dix-Hallpike, they'll go into a straight horizontal nystagmus. It's very rare, but it does happen sometimes. That would be also an indication that it's a horizontal, because it comes on and it fatigues, then it goes away. Okay. And then, so if I did find, let's say that he had a right horizontal canal, BPPV, I would take him, wait until I get here. And come where your shoulders are on the head, so your head's a little bit awkward. So it's in his right side. I'm going to roll him to the left. Okay, so I have him 30 degrees up. I would have laid him back into this position. Go ahead and roll onto this side. And then it usually comes on in this position. You see it. You wait for it to pass. 30 seconds more. Go ahead and put your arms by your sides. You're going to roll onto your stomach. So the head is 30 degrees below the rest of the body. So you see how I have his shoulders on the side of the bed so he doesn't catch his chin on the side of the bed. And go ahead and roll onto your left side. Important thing is keeping the head 30 degrees forward in every position. And then from here, we lie back on his back. And then you're done. You can go ahead and just slowly sit up over the side of the bed. Now the warning, go ahead and put your legs up. The warnings used to be that then for the next 24 hours, the patient had to sit up for 24 hours, and you put them in a cervical collar and they couldn't move. But they did some research where they asked the patients, did you really stay up for 24 hours after? And they're like, no. And they still got better. So now the current belief is that you should have your patients stay sitting up for about 15 minutes after the treatment, whether they do it there in your office or they can leave as long as they keep their head as if they had a cervical collar, nice and straight, no bending down, no bending up, just enough time to, if the crystal needs to settle back into that matrix, it gives it time to do that or dissolve. And so that's basically the diagnostic maneuvers, and then also the treatment maneuver for the horizontal canal. So there's the Dix-Hallpike maneuver. But let's say you did have somebody who did not have enough cervical extension to get into the Dix-Hallpike maneuver. So you can modify it and do kind of like the Samant maneuver where you lie them down on the side and then you lie them down on the other side. And so that's like a modified Dix-Hallpike, and it makes sense because if you hold the model, so if I take him, turn him this way, that's lining up the posterior canal on this side, and so he'll lie down. That's a modified Dix-Hallpike. And then you would sit back up, and then I would turn it the other way. So now I'm doing the left posterior canal. And so I would lie him down on the side. So that's if somebody who, for whatever reason they had cervical issues, they didn't have that range, they had fusion, different things. Neck, you're worried about their neck, you're concerned that they have some neck history, you don't want to put too much extension in there. So that's just a modification of the regular Dix-Hallpike. So 3 diagnostic maneuvers: roll test, Dix-Hallpike, modified Dix-Hallpike. Then you move into treatment maneuvers: Epley, Samant, or liberatory, or the barbecue roll, is kind of what we call that one, which is kind of funny. And then also home exercises. So all of those are included in that folder under the decision tree. They're all posted too. So why don't we split up and we'll try each